Hello, I'm Zeal. Welcome to the audiobook reading of Understanding Divine Direction by Bishop David O. Oyedepo, reading the introduction and chapter 1. God bless you. Introduction. Some time ago, I met a man whom I considered to be a highly anointed man of God. As we were talking, he said to me, I took a wrong step in 1981, and since then, my life and ministry went down. After we parted ways, his words kept reverberating in my mind. A wrong step taken in 1981, and he is still paying the price today. Every step you take now either takes you forward or backward. One of the greatest mishaps that can ever happen to a man is to lack an idea of where he is going and how to get there. Many have rushed into certain open doors only to discover that they were traps in disguise. Others have been deceived by the glitter of certain business propositions and have come to realize that not all that glitters is gold. That is why this book is timely. We greatly need God's direction because often the decisions we make in life are based on our assessment, which may not be absolutely correct. Everything may seem right and may appear satisfactory to the human eye, but at the end of it, it's frustration, stagnation, and untimely death. I believe it is as a result of this truth that the writer of Proverbs repeats the contents of Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12, verbatim in chapter 16, verse 25, perhaps for double emphasis. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. Man, even in his best mental state, is incapable of making reliable and durable decisions. He may lay all his cards on the table or weigh his decisions on the scales of intellectualism, events, and facts. His colleagues may even approve his ideas, which seemeth right by their assessment. But the ends thereof is the way of death. No human effort can match God's direction. You may be thinking, does it mean that I can't simply sit down and plan what I want to do and pursue it? What has all this to do about direction? Please understand that you are limited as a human being, which is why you will always need God's guidance. Your thoughts are not his thoughts. His thoughts on any issue of life are higher and therefore lead to the highways of life. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. Isaiah chapter 55, verse 8. You need to be divinely directed because misdirection can lead to many years of setback and can even wipe out a man's destiny. Many have traveled out of their countries to other places and have become worse off because the answer to any man's problem is not in a nation, but in God. However, I trust that as you read this book, God will instruct and guide you along definite lines. He will open your ears to hear his direction on issues that had confused you in the past, and consequently, you will locate yourself in God's master plan. Chapter 1, The Reality of Divine Plan. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. God is a God of plan and purpose. He created all things with a particular objective in mind. Just like a manufacturer will naturally create a product with a set goal in mind, you are created to fulfill a definite purpose on the earth. You are not here by accident, neither are you a creature of chance. You belong to a well-defined place in life. God has a set race for you to run here on earth. The choice of the particular race before you is, however, not yours to make. It is one you must discover. Once you locate it and run faithfully in it, it has the ability to make you an outstanding person on the earth. To be ignorant of your place in God's plan can lead to a life of toiling and frustration. This is because God has made you for where you will shine. No wonder Paul advises us in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. Let us run with patience the race that is set before us. For instance, Apostle Paul said about himself, I therefore so run, not as one that beateth the air. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 26. He would say this because he knew for certain where he was going, and he was sure that he was on course. Nothing gives confidence and guarantees dignity like certainty. The truth is that God had a plan for your life before he ever formed you in your mother's womb. He set you apart for a divine purpose on the earth even before you were born, just as the case with Jeremiah. However, it was only after you were saved that you stepped into that divine plan. Salvation brought you into the mystery of predestination. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. Romans chapter 8, verses 29 through 30. By this, we understand that all who are born again are equally justified in the sight of God. And if so, we are meant to be equally glorified. However, for the plan of glorification to materialize, we need to locate God's plan for our lives. Writing about his predestination, Paul said, but when it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace to reveal his son in me that I might preach him among the heathen. Galatians chapter 1, verses 15 through 16. Paul was separated for his assignment right from his mother's womb. It explains why a man like him could get saved in the first place. And I believe the same goes for you and I. Looking back at where you came from and bearing in mind some of the things you were involved in, there is absolutely no way you could have been saved if God hadn't separated you from the womb. That is why many, though present at the same meeting where you gave your life to Christ, and though have heard the gospel preached at several other occasions, are not convicted. This is because they have not been separated unto Christ. They are vessels of wrath. But thank God, you are a vessel of mercy. Predestination is a great mystery. Before I got born again, I was one of the greatest persecutors of born-again Christians. But because I was separated unto him from my mother's womb, his mercy located me. You too are separated unto him, and as such, you are not destined for shame, but for glory. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then, it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy. Romans chapter 9, verses 10 through 16. This should help you understand that now that you are born again, you are on the positive side of destiny. You have been accepted in the beloved. Your salvation It's an expression of God's love for you. Thank you for joining me for this reading. I'll see you for the next chapter. And as I always say, bye-bye for now. Be your best you.